welcome. I'm just finishing off the last parts of the live stream connection on my different channels, and I will be on the mat in a moment. This morning's practice is, again, one about more educational than a flow style of class where everything links like a vinyasa. It's about educating us on areas of our body where we get a little tight and create some tension, and how we can alleviate that through our yoga practice. So let's begin. Let's make our way onto the mat, finding some support to sit on. So maybe a cushion, a pillow, or a bolster, and allowing as well for other props. So maybe some blocks could be handy, and a cushion, a pillow, a blanket, a bolster, and a belt. So I've got a yoga strap here, but maybe not everyone has one of those at home. So if you don't own a yoga strap, grab yourself a belt or a dressing gown tie. It doesn't really matter. It just needs to be something. Could even be like a small hand towel. Wherever you're at, let's start to gather up our props, have them located around us, and then come into our comfortable seat as we arrive on our mats with our hands on our knees, with an erect spine, and let's close down our eyes and start to cultivate that deep awareness within us. So take yourself from the clothing on your skin, and through that, take yourself through the fabric of your own skin. And from the fabric of your own skin, move through the contours of your beautiful muscles. And then finally dive into the web of your nerves. And just take a moment to recognize how the macrocosm of the world around us is replicated in the microcosm within us. The nitrogen in the brain, the iron in the blood, the oxygen, the calcium in our bones, right? So all of the elements exist within us. There is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Just like externally, we have all of those internally. So let's cultivate that awareness now. Just take a few deep breaths. In a world where separation is beginning to play its key role as we start to delineate ourselves according to religion, politics, ethnicity, language. The yoga tradition is there as a shining beacon of light, reminding us that what exists on the outside exists on the inside, and that is fundamental within all of us. The light within me is exactly the same as the light within you. So just rest and digest for a few moments, a few deep breaths. And then bring your hands into your heart space, draw your chin towards your chest. Just take a moment to recognize the effort it takes to get on the mat, to set aside valuable moments in your day for yourself. And a reminder, this is not a particularly class style, yoga experience. It's more a opportunity to explore the areas in our body with some stretches, some yoga poses. So this one's all about our shoulders. So recognize how many of us carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. So we'll take a few moments just to let all of that ease away. And we'll begin our practice with an Om. Inhale through your nose. Rub your hands together and cultivate the inner fire. Spark the energy across your palms. Ignite your Agni. And then place your hands over your eyes and absorb the nourishment of that warmth. And then peel the hands away from the eyes, blinking open your eyes and arriving in your space. Cactus your arms here And on an inhale, open the chest forward, extend the spine, widen the collarbones, and then on an exhale breath, bring the elbows and hands to touch in front of the body, round the back, and exhale. So inhale, you extend and open up and look up and lift the chin. And then the exhale breath, you draw in and you round the back and you contract. So we go through this moment of expansion with the inhale breath and contraction with the exhale breath. So we can think of the wind of the body as this opportunity for prana vayu, inhale, opening us up, and apana vayu, exhale breath, releasing what doesn't serve us. Let's take a few like that. Inhale, lift, reach, and rise, extend and warm up the spine. Exhale, chin to chest, round the back body, and dome. One more like that. Inhale, up, and then exhale, contract and round in. Lower the hands down onto your knees and continue to move like that again. So lift the chin, open the chest, widen the collarbones. Exhale, chin to chest, round the back body. Inhale, lift the chin. Synchronize the movement of your body and your breath. Now exhale, breath, chin to chest. One more like that. So let's begin with that practice of releasing the weight of the world on your shoulders with a type of Kundalini yoga practice, which is known as Bastrika. So as you lift the shoulders up to your ears, draw the breath in through the nose, and then with a breath of fire, so you draw the belly button in and snap the air out of the body, you exhale through the nose, and you drop the shoulders away from the ears. So we're releasing away the weight of the world. So inhale. Now just pause there and notice how just that simple practice of lifting the shoulders on an inhale and releasing on the exhale breath allows just for a little bit of extra warmth, a bit of freedom in mobility in the shoulders. So let's dive a little deeper into them now. So inhale, arms up, reach up overhead, and then twist around to the left, exhale breath. So right hand, left knee, left hand behind you, rotate around to the left. And then as you come back to center, take your right arm out in front of you and lift the left arm over the top, crossing at your elbows, holding the hands as you twist the forearms around one another. Lift the elbows up to shoulder height and then press the forearms forward as you press the heart and lungs back. So you should feel this quite dynamically within the shoulder girdles. So there's rotator cuff area and all of the musculature supporting the joint. And this is such a dynamic stretch for the shoulders. And it allows for that deep sense of awareness of breath connection here. So feeling into the inhale and the exhale. Nice work. And then lower the elbows to shoulder height and look forward as you take the fingers over to the 1 o'clock position. So you're ever so slightly drawing the hands to the right, and then you come through your center to midnight, and then you go over to the 11 o'clock position. So it just changes the sensation in the shoulders and warms them up in a more dynamic way. And then we'll release all that, coming down on hands onto knees, and we'll do it all again on the other side. So arms up, lift up, reach up, and then twist around to the right. Right hand behind you, left hand to left knee, allowing the chest to get a nice little corkscrew there. And then as you come back to center, it's your left arm will be out in front of you. Cross the right elbow over the top. Twist the forearms and hold the hands. So we're on the other side now. So as we lift the elbows to shoulder height, start to feel how the forearms press forward away from you and the heart and lungs press back behind you, widening the space between your shoulder blades. Holding here for a few deep breaths. Feels good. And then as you release all of that down to shoulder height, take your fingers over to the 11 o'clock position. And just notice how that changes the location of the sensations in the shoulders. And then come back through your center and take all of that over to the right, to the, say, 1 o'clock position. Nice. And then as you release the hands, lower them down and find your belt strap or your hand towel, whatever you have out in front of you. I'm fortunate enough to have a yoga strap. And this is such a useful practice for those of us that carry a lot of the weight of the world on our shoulders, as well as a lot of tension in our shoulders. So you'll take your strap, your belt, or whatever it is out in front of you, and I like to hook my thumbs in and have the hands around the outside edge. And you want it long enough and far enough apart so that you can lift it up over your head without it bashing into the head every time. And for some of you, you're already going to recognize where we're going, which is simply keeping the strap tense and allowing the arms to move back behind the head. And at some point, for most of us, we're going to find something that's going to create some deep, deep sensation. And for me, it's about here. And so you maintain this position, you feel into the grounding nature of the base chakra, so you think of Muladhara, so you're feeling into the seat, and you're feeling into the tension on the strap. And as you start to wake up the shoulders and they really begin to warm up, you start to think about maybe, oh, how far back can I go? What is my mobility like? And where can I start to create some really profound and amazing openings across my shoulders? And for some of you, you might notice now that we're going all the way down towards the seat and the floor behind us, and then we'll come back all the way up and overhead. And so as we do this, we start to recognize those areas that get a little sticky. So now I'm coming out in front of us. And in this position, we want to really erect the spine, widen the strap with the thumbs hooked into the opposite ends, and draw the strap apart. There's not a lot of give in this strap. So as you start to recognize how the shoulders are really warming up here and feeling into the mobility, we are starting to open up and awaken again. Because we do a lot of repetitive movements, we do a lot of typing, we do a lot of the same things, and the shoulders get a little sticky, particularly here as you open the chest, right? So as the arms are behind you, you're starting to open across the front of the chest, and there's a little pec minor muscle that gets a little tight and sticky as a result of our hands coming forward all the time to read our tablets, to read our mobile phones, to type on a keyboard, to hold a book, whatever it might be. And the weight of gravity does the same thing. It pushes us down and forward. Nice work. So as you come back forward and overhead, you should start to feel a lot more opening across the front of your chest, and that should feel really wonderful as well. So now from this position, we'll use our blocks, and this will be the last of today's instructional practices. So we've done some proud chest moments, we've done some twists, and we've used our eagle arms to warm up the shoulders. And now I'll show you one of my favorite poses for triceps and also all-round shoulder girdle stretches and awakenings. So if you take your blocks like a V shape out in front of you and place them off towards the front of your mat, come forward onto your tabletop position, all fours. Now you could, if you have some knee sensitivity, place your knees on a blanket. In fact, I'm going to do that today. It's a little cool in my studio here in Australia. And so this is melting heart, but I like to call it praying mantis because it's a little bit more intense. And with the elevation of the blocks, it can really create some opening across the shoulders. So as you take one elbow down onto one block, place the other elbow on the other block and start to walk them as far forward along the blocks as you can. Create a namaskar mudra with the hands behind the head and then lower the head between the blocks. So you will have to use some moments where you have to come in and out of the pose to determine where and how you set this up. But for me already, as I start to let the chest relax, the shoulders to soften and open, I'm beginning to really feel how the biceps also get a nice stretch, the deltoids here as well.
and all of the tissues underneath the armpits. It's like a beautiful big hammock here. And the chest is softening towards the earth. The back is getting a stretch. And there's this beautiful big extension along the spine from the sacrum, hydrating all of those tissues. And just a couple more breaths. And then start to lift your chest, walk the elbows back, bring the hands with you, take the blocks off to the outside edges of your mat, shift onto your shins and sit back on your heels. Place the hands on your thighs with the palms facing the ceiling. So that is such a powerful, beautiful opener of the shoulders, of the muscles of the upper arms, the deltoids and the biceps. It isn't the most easiest pose to get into praying mantis, but it is one that is incredibly beneficial. So for those of you that can't find that position, I'll show you a more entry-level option, which is from your tabletop position, all fours. You walk or slide the hands forward, but keep the hips stationary over the knees, and then start to lower the forehead down onto the mat out in front of you. And so this is your more melting heart or puppy pose position. Many people will recognize that as well. So there's two options there. But for today's practice, it's all been about the shoulders and awakening all of the tissues in the shoulders to release some of the tension. So when we do this all day and we're typing away on our keyboards, we bring the shoulder heads forward, we're hunching forward, and we want to think about how we can extend the spine, open the chest, widen the space across the chest, and also just to release the shortness and the gathering of the fronts of the shoulders and the muscles across the front of the chest, because that's going to help us expand the heart. And in the process of expanding our heart, it allows us to move and navigate in the world with the beautiful renewable resource that we know as love, gratitude, and thankfulness. So today's practice has come to an end. It's another class all about awakening and bringing awareness to how yoga can help improve your mobility and your flexibility. And a reminder that yoga is not about how flexible you are. Yoga is about determination, diligence, getting on the mat and practicing and exploring your own body in your own way, and a magical experience that allows you to move in the direction of more. So thanks for practicing today. I'll catch you again real soon, and I'll see you again on the mat. Bye for now.